Congressman Adam Kinzinger sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee and joins us now. Congressman, good morning. So he would rather work this out with Rouhani, but he's not ruling out military action. What did you take away from the president's words there?
No, I thought he's 100% right. His point about getting out of the Iran nuclear deal is right. It was a flawed deal, and in fact, if you look in the region right now, you see that a lot of Iranian funding of terrorist activities or terroristic groups is drying up. So that's step one. Step two is, how do we engage the Iranians to get a deal that not just covers the nuclear program, but covers ballistic missiles and their activity in the region, their bad behavior in the region, and that is through what we're doing, we're squeezing it. Now, the question of the use of military force, the president has the leverage to do it if he feels necessary, but it's Iran that has been trying to provoke the United States for 20 years. You look at all the attacks, a quarter of American soldiers that died in Iraq were a result of Iran. You look at the attacks in Yemen and elsewhere, this is Iranians doing. They're almost trying to provoke us, so a reaction would obviously be the right answer if it happens again.
The Ayatollah has responded to the president saying this, quote, "The Americans need to stay away. If they get close, we know how to act. We know what needs to be done." What did you make of that response, Congressman?
Well, it's ominous. They do have energized groups, which is part of the problem with the Iran deal. They were able to fund groups, separatist groups basically, in Iraq and Yemen and elsewhere. So those groups can attack U.S. soldiers, which is why you saw this recent robusting of a presence in the Middle East. But in terms of military to military, it would be a very one-sided conflict. Iran would be pretty much toast in a very quick amount of time, and they know that. So that's why I don't think they'll provoke past a red line, but the president has rightly made it very clear that there is a red line, and they can't cross that, and I think he's doing absolutely the right thing.
But at the very time, is it fair to say that this administration's been very careful to fuel fears of a war with Iran?
Yeah, I think, look, people will take it, especially people with an anti-Trump agenda will take it and say he's warmongering. The reality is this is just what American presidents used to do, talk tough before President Obama. They used to talk about red lines. They talked about American strength and the desire for peace over war, but war if necessary. And we're basically returning to that American tradition of strength, and it makes some people uncomfortable. I think the president, the administration's done a good job of tamping down fears, but also making a strong message to Iran clear.
Congressman, as a veteran yourself, what has it been like for you to look back and remember D-Day 75 years later and watch the president's visit there?
Yeah, I'm very proud of him and what he's doing. I'm very proud of obviously what we did in World War II. You think of the greatest generation, some are still alive. My grandpa was part of the greatest generation. I also think too, we've been engaged in war for 18 years. We have a new greatest generation. And now for the first time, sons of, dads that have been to this war are now entering the same conflict. And it's just America standing up to do what's right. And this is a moment to remember, put the partisanship aside, and remember how awesome it is to be an American and how great of a role America has played in the world.
How would you describe that special relationship today?
I think if you're talking with Europe, it's strong. There's always going to be disagreements. There's always going to be some brittle points. But we understand that, the UK and Europe can't survive without the United States against bad actors, and we need Europe in the UK. And so we can have disagreements, but we always remember that special bond that was formed in fire 75 years ago.
We really appreciate your time this morning. Congressman Adam Kinzinger from Illinois, thank you.
You bet. Take care.